Want to learn more about the Bible in a chill, daily way that actually means something? You're in the right spot. Every question here is a little discovery. At the end, drop a comment telling us how many you got right and which part moved you the most. And don't forget to check out more quizzes in the description with themes that'll totally surprise you. I'm known as the Apostle to the Gentiles. Who am I? A. Peter. B. James. C. Paul. D. Barnabas. Correct answer, C. Paul. Verse, Romans 11 verse 13, I am talking to you Gentiles. Since I am the apostle to the Gentiles, I take pride in my ministry. Paul's called the apostle to the Gentiles because he brought the gospel mostly to non-Jews. He played a huge role in spreading Christianity beyond Jewish communities, starting churches, and writing letters that make up much of the New Testament. Who stopped Abraham from killing his own son as a sacrifice? A. The angel of the Lord. B. Moses. C. Isaac. D. A priest. Correct answer, A. The angel of the Lord. Verse, Genesis 22 verses 11 to 12, but the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven, Abraham. Abraham. Here I am, he replied. Don't lay a hand on the boy, he said. Do not do anything to him. Just as Abraham was about to sacrifice Isaac, the angel of the Lord called out from heaven and stopped him. This was a test of faith and obedience, and also foreshadowed Jesus' sacrifice in the New Testament. In a moment of desperation, I wanted to eat the food meant for pigs. Who am I? A. The prodigal son. B. Ishmael. C. Esau. D. Judas Iscariot. Correct answer, A. The prodigal son. Verse, Luke 15 verses 16 to 17, he longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. When he came to his senses, he said, how many of my father's hired servants have food to spare, and here I am starving to death. Jesus' parable of the prodigal son shows the father's unconditional love and the chance to come back even after messing up. That moment when he wants to eat pig food is hitting rock bottom, and the start of his turnaround. What sign did Noah see after leaving the ark? Shooting star. B. Rainbow. C. Northern Lights. D. Comet. Correct answer, B. Rainbow. Verse, Genesis 9 verse 13, I have set my rainbow in the clouds, it will be the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. The rainbow was God's symbol of the covenant with Noah and all creation, promising never to flood the earth again. It's a visual reminder of God's promise to humanity and nature. The prophet Isaiah walked naked and barefoot for 3 years as a prophetic sign against Egypt and Ethiopia. True or false? Correct answer, true. Correct answer, true. Verse, Isaiah 20 verses 2 to 3, at that time the Lord spoke through Isaiah son of Amoz. He said to him, Go, remove the sackcloth from your body and take off your sandals. So he did, going around stripped and barefoot. Then the Lord said, just as my servant Isaiah walked naked and barefoot for 3 years as a sign and warning against Egypt and Cush. God told Isaiah to walk naked and barefoot as a prophetic sign showing the shame and captivity these nations would face. A bold act to send a powerful message. Who wrote Psalm 90? Joshua. B. Elijah. C. Moses. D. David. Correct answer, C. Moses. Verse, Psalm 90 verse 1, a prayer of Moses, the man of God, Lord, you have been our dwelling place throughout all generations. Psalm 90 is the only psalm attributed to Moses and reflects on God's eternity and the fragility of human life. It's a deep prayer from a leader who knew God intimately and reverently. How is the prophet Isaiah's wife described in the Bible? A. Virtuous woman. B. Prophetess. C. Priest's daughter. D. Foreigner. Correct answer, B. Prophetess. Verse, Isaiah 8 verse 3, I went to the prophetess, and she conceived and gave birth to a son. Then the Lord said to me, name him Marshalal-Hashbaz. Isaiah's wife is called a prophetess, meaning she had an important spiritual role too. Though her name isn't mentioned, her title shows she helped in Isaiah's prophetic ministry. What are the two main divisions of the Bible called? Genesis and Revelation. B. Gospels and letters. C. Old Testament and New Testament. D. Law and prophets. Correct answer, C. Old Testament and New Testament. The Bible is split into two main parts, the Old Testament, which tells about creation, Israel's history, and God's promises, and the New Testament, which tells the story of Jesus' life, death, and resurrection, plus teachings of the New Covenant. These divisions help us understand God's salvation plan throughout history. Which prophet married a prostitute as a symbol of God's relationship with Israel? A. Isaiah. B. Jeremiah. C. Hosea. D. Ezekiel. Correct answer, C. Hosea. Verse, Hosea 1 verse 2. When the Lord began to speak through Hosea, he said, Go, marry a promiscuous woman and have children with her, for the land is unfaithful to the Lord. God told Hosea to marry Gomer, a prostitute, to show his faithful love for Israel, even when the people turned away and worshipped other gods. Hosea's life became a living message of God's grace and mercy, despite the people's unfaithfulness. I was the only man who didn't have a belly button. Who am I? A. Noah. B. Adam. C. Moses. D. Abraham. Correct answer, B. Adam. Verse, Genesis 2 verse 7, Then the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. Adam was created directly by God from the dust, not born from a woman like everyone else. That's why he had no umbilical cord and no belly button. This little Bible fact highlights how uniquely God made the first man. What a blessing to have you here. Hope this video inspired you and that you'll stick with us on this faith journey. Drop a comment and tell us what stood out most to you today, and don't forget to check out the other quizzes we put together with lots of care. Quick heads up. If you're buying anything on Amazon, use our link in the description. It helps tons with supporting our work, keeping our content live, and the best part, it doesn't cost you anything extra. Thanks a million for the support.